Ancient Egypt thrived under a blazing sun. The Egyptians saw this sun as a powerful god. They called him Ra. Ra was more than just the sun in the sky. He was the creator of the world. He was the king of the gods. Ra brought light, warmth, and life to the land. His story is a journey through ancient Egyptian beliefs. Let's explore the myths and legends of this mighty sun god. The Egyptians believed that Ra existed before anything else. He emerged from the primordial waters of Nun. With him, he brought order to the chaos. He created the world and everything in it. Ra's power was absolute. His presence was everywhere. He was the source of all life and the ruler of the cosmos. The Egyptians worshipped Ra as a benevolent god. He provided for his people and protected them from harm. He was the embodiment of light, truth, and justice. His daily journey across the sky was a symbol of hope and renewal. Ra's story is central to understanding ancient Egyptian culture and religion. His influence can be seen in their art, architecture, and beliefs. Ra was the supreme deity in the Egyptian pantheon. He was the king of the gods and the lord of creation. His power was absolute and his authority was unquestioned. The Egyptians believed that Ra ruled over the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. He controlled the forces of nature and the cycle of life and death. Ra played a vital role in maintaining order and balance in the cosmos. He ensured that the sun rose and set each day. He brought forth the seasons and regulated the floods of the Nile. He protected the Egyptians from their enemies and granted them prosperity. The Egyptians believed that Ra's power was essential for their well-being. They depended on him for their survival. They honored him with temples, offerings, and elaborate rituals. Ra's image was everywhere in ancient Egypt, from the towering obelisks to the smallest amulets. Every day, Ra embarked on a perilous journey across the sky. He sailed in his solar bark, a magnificent ship that carried the sun. The Egyptians called this boat the Mandjet. It was crewed by other gods who assisted Ra in his journey. Ra's journey was not without its dangers. He faced numerous challenges and enemies who sought to destroy him. The most fearsome of these was Apophis, the Serpent of Chaos. Apophis represented the forces of darkness and disorder that threatened to plunge the world into eternal night. As Ra sailed across the sky, he brought light and warmth to the world. He nurtured the crops, sustained life, and maintained order. His journey was a symbol of the eternal cycle of day and night, life and death, creation and destruction. Section 4, Apophis, the Serpent of Chaos. Apophis was Ra's archenemy. He was a giant serpent who lurked in the underworld. Each night, Apophis would lie in wait for Ra. He wanted to devour the sun god and plunge the world into darkness. Apophis represented chaos, darkness, and the forces that oppose creation. The battle between Ra and Apophis was a nightly occurrence. It was a clash of titans, a struggle between good and evil. The Egyptians believed that the fate of the world hung in the balance. If Apophis were to succeed, darkness would reign supreme. However, Ra was a powerful god. He was armed with magical weapons and aided by his loyal followers. Each night he would defeat Apophis, banishing him back to the underworld. Ra's victory ensured the dawn of a new day and the continuation of life. Section 5. The Divine Court, Ra's relationships with other gods. Ra was the king of the gods and the head of the Egyptian pantheon. He presided over a divine court that included numerous deities. Each god and goddess had their own specific roles and responsibilities. They worked together to maintain order and balance in the cosmos. Some of Ra's closest allies included Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. Together they represented the forces of creation and life. Other important deities in Ra's court included Geb, the earth god, and Nut, the sky goddess. They were responsible for the physical world and the cycle of day and night. Ra's relationships with other gods were not always harmonious. There were rivalries, jealousies, and power struggles. One famous myth tells of Ra's daughter Sekhmet, the lion goddess. She went on a rampage, threatening to destroy humanity. Ra had to intervene, using his cunning and power to pacify her. Section 6, Ra and humanity, a god's influence on earth. Ra was not a distant god, unconcerned with the affairs of mortals. He was seen as a benevolent ruler who cared for his creation. The Egyptians believed that Ra had created humans from his tears. He considered them to be his children and watched over them with a protective eye. Ra provided the Egyptians with everything they needed to survive and thrive. He gave them sunlight for their crops, water for their fields, and air to breathe. He also protected them from their enemies and ensured their prosperity. In return for his blessings, the Egyptians were expected to honor and obey Ra. They built temples in his honor, made offerings to him, and followed his laws. They believed that their pharaoh was Ra's representative on earth and ruled with his divine authority.